Prince Yariel, but he couldn't make it today, so as Levites, we have to split duties today, me and Chief Meku. So let us go to the portion of Uzziel Braka, which is found in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 33.
Amen.
Was it like 1 million motorcycles going past?
Serious.
And it's not stopping. Goodness gracious. Somebody must have passed away or something. Hallelujah. How y'all feel? Hallelujah. Thank you to my brother More Tavel.
Amen.
Who covered for his young cousin Kyle. So Kyle was supposed to be the maftir today, but he wasn't able to do what he had to do. His Abba's not here, so he wasn't able to do what he had to do. So Big Cuz came and covered for him. Amen. So we thank the Most High God, because that's, ultimately that's what Levites are supposed to do. Levites, if you teach Torah, if the Levites' job was to join God with the people, or join the people to God, then you should know Torah. And you shouldn't be unprepared no time. As a Levite, all the portions that are for that day, you should be studying them throughout the week, because at any point, you might be called up to speak. And you shall always be able to come up and say something in the name of the Creator, or to speak a word of righteousness before God's people. You shall always be ready to teach God's law, because that is your job if you take on the job of a Levite.
Amen.
A Levite should always be willing to work, should always be willing to speak the word of God and do all the things that are designated for Levites to do, if that's the tribe that you take. Levites were not people that were lazy.
Not at all.
Levites were people that actually had to do work and constantly had to do work. Levites, in particular, the priests were the only ones that were allowed to actually work on the Shabbat day and doing certain things that everyone else was not allowed to do. They were able to do offerings and sacrifices on the Shabbat day because God commanded them to do it, because God said they are set up apart. They are not like everyone else. I set this Levitical order to the side, and I am their inheritance. So when you call yourself Lewi, that is a strong position that you've taken. But to call yourself Lewi, you have to do work. You have to put in work. That is the job of Lewi. So,
amen. It's required. We
go into the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, with Zohar Braka. Let us go. And this is the last book, or this is the last portion in the Torah. So we're closing out the Torah. In most Jewish places, they close it out during Simchat Torah, which is the second day that they take during Shemini Atzeret. So they will be closing it out on, I think, like Tuesday or something like that. They'll be closing it out. So, but we have a Shabbat day here, so we closing it out today. We don't have to specifically follow that, but we are closing it out today.
Hallelujah.
So let us go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33.
Hallelujah. Deuteronomy 33, 33rd chapter, and the first verse. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And this is the blessing wherewith Prophet Moshe, the man of Elohim, blessed the people, blessed the children of Yisrael before his death.
So Moses is about ready to die. Now Moses is still strong. It said none of his natural forces had abated him, meaning that he was still intact as a man. At 120 years old, Moses was still intact, could still have babies, wasn't feeble, wasn't weak. But because him and Aaron did not sanctify the name of the Most High God before the people, the Most High God told them, y'all not going to go into the land. That was his punishment for not making that separation between himself, Aaron, and the Most High God. Let us go.
And he said in the second verse, Jehovah came from Sinai and rose from Seir unto them. He shined forth from Mount Paran, and he came from the Merites, holy, and his right hand was a fiery law unto them. Yea, he loved the peoples, all his holy ones, they are in thy hand, and they sit down at thy feet, receiving of thy words.
So when we received when we came out of Egypt, we received the law of God by Mount Sinai. When we came out of Egypt, remember when we was there and the Most High God gave us the 10 words, and we told Moses, we said, hey, it's best that you talk to God than us talk to God, because we kind of afraid of God. And that's when Moses took on the job of relaying the message. And Moses went up into that mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. And after he went up into that mountain, when he came back down, what did the people do? The people were having an orgy. They were having a free-fall. They were doing whatever it was that they wanted to do. And Moses, in his anger, he broke those tablets. He said, y'all don't deserve this. Y'all not worthy of the word of God, because look at what y'all are into. We are people that, we follow easily. We follow anything that's before us. We are people that we constantly are in the mode and the fashion that everyone gives to us. I mean, I could tell you all the fashion statements that us as black people made that we no longer are part of. We loved Lee jeans at one point, and then at some point, Lee jeans became not it. Because I remember being in school. You got your Lee jeans on, and then they ripping your Lee tags off, and you're like, what happened with Lees? You better not be caught with no Lee jeans. We used to have 8-ball jackets. Pele jackets, Cool G sweaters. So we are people that we follow easy, but we jump in and out of things so quick, right? That we're such a followers, but God, the Creator, doesn't want us to be followers. He wants us to just be followers of His. He said, at His feet, we received the law. That was those 10 commandments that the Most High God gave us. That was them words that the Most High God gave us, and then the words that Moses passed down to us, because there's more than 10 commandments. People are under the impression that it's only 10 commandments, but there's 6. They say it's about 613 laws, statutes, and commandments. That means there's more to this book than just those 10 words. Because the 10 commandments don't speak about our dietary law.
Right.
The 10 Commandments doesn't speak about our uncleanlinesses. 10 Commandments doesn't speak about that. So there was the wilderness, the period of time of the wilderness was an education for us as a people. We had to be educated as to what we were supposed to do when we entered the land.
Exactly.
Because God didn't want us to go into the land with the Egyptian mentality that we had. Because the first thing we did, Moses disappeared. What did we build?
A calf.
Apis the bull. That's what the Egyptians used to worship. Apis the bull. They used to have a bull with a horn, and they put the sun disk right between the horns. That's who the Egyptians worship, and that's who we build. So God, the Creator, doesn't want us to go into the land of Canaan with this mentality. So He had to purge us in that wilderness in order for us to change our mind. And then, as the brother read, Moreh Tavel, he gave us Adon Yehoshua ben Nun to guide us and to direct us, because he understood the type of leadership that we needed, because we didn't need a soft hand leadership. You ever see like you got teams and you got certain type of coaches, you got player coaches, that are kind of cool with the players. And then you got guys like Bobby Knight, that throw a chair at you, choke you out, do stuff like that. You got coaches like that, but they get the job done. Put their hands on you. Can't get away with that anymore, by the way. You get fired. Back in the days, there was a lot of things going on. So it was coaches that, I told you to set that pick. But it was, he did some things on national TV. He grabbed some guys up, threw them on the bench, grabbed him by the neck and threw him. I mean, this was what was going on. But Joshua wasn't a player's coach. He was the guy that grabbed you by the neck. And you was going to understand that he was there. That's why during the time of Joshua, Israel wasn't sinning. They wasn't doing what they wanted to do. After the period of Joshua is when you begin to read, and the children of Israel did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord once again. And the children of Israel did it. During the time of the judges, that's when all that went on. Not during Joshua's time. Mm-hmm. Because Joshua executed what? Judgment.
Immediately.
Let us go.
Prophet Moshe commanded us a law. 4. Prophet Moshe commanded us a law, an inheritance of the congregation of YAH.
That's our inheritance. The laws of God is our inheritance. And we apply them. We don't have to apply what they got, the 100, what they call that, what's those books that they have, the 400 whatever, power laws, what they call that stuff?
Oh, the 50 laws of power.
Yeah, 50 laws of power. That's not our inheritance. Our inheritance is in the Torah. If we apply this to our everyday lives, we'll be all right. Mm-hmm. Let us go.
And there was a king in Yeshurun at the 5th verse, when the heads of the people were gathered, all the tribes of Yisrael together.
And there was a king in Yeshurun, darling upright. Yeshurun, that was the nickname or the pet name that the Most High God had for the children of Israel. Darling upright, there was a king in Yeshurun when the heads of the people were gathered and all the tribes of Yisrael together. Who was that king? The Most High.
That's right.
He was always our king.
Always will be.
That's why he told Samuel, he said, listen, Samuel, don't get mad when the people ask for a king. He said, don't get mad. He said, because they have not rejected you, they rejected me. I'm their king. Sister, don't be upset over them asking for a king, because that's not an offense against you. That's an offense against me. Let us go.
Let Reuben live at the 6th verse and not die, in that his men become few.
You hear? Let Reuben live and not die, in that his men become few. And you have to set that type of blessing upon Reuben because of what the original, this is talking about the tribe, of what the man Reuben did was he went up on his father's couch. He laid with one of his father's wives. So therefore, you have to bestow blessings upon him to live, because what he did is a what? A death penalty.
Death penalty.
It's a death penalty. So therefore, every time you hear about the blessings for Reuben, there's always, oh, let him live. Let him live before you. Let him be, let him be prosperous. Let him not be few. Because in reality, what his ancestor did, or what the ancestor did, was something that was egregious before, first and foremost, the Most High, and before humanity. You never do anything like that. You don't disrespect your parents in that manner. You don't do anything to remotely come to a point to have people look at you or bring a smear upon your family, upon your name. And this is what Reuben did. So that's why his blessing has to be one of life, because what he did really deserved death. Let us go.
The 7th verse. And this for Yehuda, and he said, hear, Yehovah, the voice of Yehuda, and bring him in unto his people. His hand shall be, Salakli, his hand shall contend for him, and thou shalt be a help against his adversaries.
Why you have to put that blessing on Yehuda? Because Yehuda goes up first. Whenever we have war and we take that formation, who goes up first? Judah. So therefore, you got to bless his hand against his adversary, because he's like the grunts, like the army, the Marines, whoever go in first, they're the ones who take the brunt of the pain. So bless his hand against his adversaries, because when they come in with force. That's that first brigade that come at you. So you said, bless him. Bless his hands and bless his strength, so that he'd be able to withstand. And from Judah also comes what? What comes from Judah? The kings. Let us go.
And of Lewi he said at the 8th verse, thy Thurim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa, with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah.
It said, and of Levi he said, thy Tumim and thy Urim be with thy Holy One, whom thou didst prove at Massa,
Amen.
with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah. When we start complaining about water, we start complaining about, oh, we're going to starve, we're going to die of thirst. God just finished opening up a whole sea for you. You just finished seeing the miracles of the Creator, and you're going to talk about he brought you out here to die?
Disrespectful.
How small-minded and how simple-minded of a people. Now, just think about that. You just finished witnessing the greatest thing that you witnessed in your entire life.
Ever.
Greater than the birth of a child, greater than anything, because for a sea to open up and have the sea standing like two walls to the side of you, where you can touch it like this, you can touch it, and it's not coming down. And you are ungrateful enough to start complaining about water?
Deep.
Are we serious? But this is the mind frame of the people. This is the state of mind that the people are in. This is the people that we deal with today.
Regrettably.
Even sometimes you know, torah YAH that we blessed to do. Sometimes you go feed the homeless.
Amen.
And you would think that someone who's homeless that hasn't had anything to eat will be like, I'm grateful for whatever you give me. Or what you got. What you mean, whatever I got? Whatever I got should be good.
Ungrateful.
You see your man next to you, he's like this. You talk about what I got.
Unbelievable.
I got what I got. It ain't a choice of 3 and 4 things.
Exactly.
It's one thing, my brother. Now you can take it or leave it.
Game.
But that's our people. We be in the lowest state of our lives, and we still we ready to complain. You had one guy, remember we went out there, and he was out there, he was big. He was big, so I think that day we had like spaghetti and meatballs or something like that. So the guys are coming out, thank you, sisters, thank you. They eating, and that's, my mother used to make spaghetti. And he started talking about his mother making spaghetti and how good of spaghetti she made. Bruh, you want the tray or not? Do you want the tray or not, man?
Unbelievable.
It don't taste. How you know if it tastes like your mother's spaghetti if you ain't even tasted it yet? But this is the state of mind of people. Like you living in a shelter, you don't know when your next meal is. You don't really like what they feed you in the shelter. So when people come out and feed you, it's home cooked meals.
Okay.
It's meals that people put their love to, but you still have people that complain, even in that state of that condition in their lives. So that's how people.
The whole head is sick.
That's how we are.
One guy was real appreciative.
Yeah.
He said, take anything long as it wasn't poor.
Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah. Guy, he came out with a keeper. He said, yeah, I'll take anything. He said, as long as it's not pork. And that's understandable because if you don't eat pork, you don't eat pork. If you don't eat unclean, you don't eat unclean. You don't change that, But he was grateful. But you get people that, man, and that's Israel. We complain, we cried about no water, and God just finished doing this great miracle. So God had to destroy us. He had to set the curse amongst us because of our ways of complaining and doing the things that we do. So it should teach us a lesson about the things we complain about. Let us go.
The 9th verse. Who said of his father and of his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew he his own children. For they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant.
You hear that? Now Moses go on a little bit about Lewi. He give Lewi blessings. It's a little bit of nepotism. He's a Levite himself, but he said he cared nothing about mother.
That's right.
Father.
And nobody. His children.
When it came to that instance, when they built that calf, Moses said, "Who's on the Lord's side?" Said the entire tribe of Levi came over. It said all of Levi came over.
That's deep.
That means that you don't put anything before the Creator. God is first. You don't put your children before God. You can't disrespect your parents. So that's Torah, right? So you can't put your hands on your parents. But when it comes to the Creator, nothing supersedes the Creator. And that's what Moses is saying. He said, Levi has been proven. He's good with the Creator. That's why when you take on the title of Levi, you take that tribe, you have to know what you're doing. Because you can't compromise it even for those little ones that come from you. You have to keep Torah. You can't even compromise for that. Let us go.
The 10th verse. They shall teach Yaakov thine ordinances and Yisrael thy law. They shall put incense before thee and burnt offerings upon thine altar.
Because from Levi comes the priest. So they're the ones that offer the incense and the offerings before the Most High God. And you teach the law. So when you Levi, you should have a regiment of studying, of understanding Torah to be able to bring it forth to people.
Gain.
That's the job of a Levite. I mean, that's the job of all of us.
It is.
But especially of Levi, because Levi had no inheritance. So when he went from city to city, town to town, tribe to tribe, and somebody said, hey, Levi, can you give me a word of God? He had to be ready to give the word of God. And whenever you went to any of these towns, you took on your job. It says that whatever portion is to be given to that Levite, you got to give him that stipend whenever he gets to your town. Because his inheritance is only the Creator. So therefore, when you say you're a Levite, I say it again, study.
That's right.
Do the things you're supposed to do.
That's right.
Let us go.
Bless Yahweh his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise up against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again.
Them that hate him, that they rise not again. So that's Moshe gave an extensive blessing to Levi, almost a whole column. Let us go. Hey, listen, that was his tribe. That was his tribe. He want to make sure when he gone, my tribe good. Let us go.
Of Benjamin,
Listen, we read in Chronicles right now, and it's just talking about the kings of Judah. You know what I mean? How great the kings of Judah. Moses said, before I go, I'm going to put an extensive blessing on my tribe. Okay. Let's go.
Of Benjamin, he said, the beloved of Yahweh shall dwell in safety by him. He covereth him all the day, and he dwelleth between his shoulders.
Who Benjamin dwelt with in the nation? With Judah. And he was covered.
Right up on
between his shoulders. So Judah go up first. Benjamin is right there, but he's protected.
Exactly.
Because Judah goes up first. You know, Benjamin ain't too far behind, but he's still protected. So when you say the southern kingdom, you're not just talking about the tribe of Judah. You're talking about Benjamin also, and some of Levi.
They were right there.
They were right there. Let's go.
And of Joseph he said, Blessed of Yahweh be his land for the precious things of heaven, for the dew and for the deep that croucheth beneath, and for the precious things of the fruits of the sun, and for the precious things of the yield of the moons, and for the tops of the ancient mountains, and for the precious things of the everlasting hills, and for the precious things of the earth and the fullness thereof, and the good will of him that dwell in the bush. Let the blessing come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the crown of the head of him that is prince among his brethren.
Prince among his brothers. And why did Joseph become prince among his brethren? Because Reuben blew it when he went on his father's couch. So the princehood went to Joseph. He was the first one of Rachel, right? He was the firstborn of Rachel.
He was.
And it skipped the first one of Leah because of what he did. So the blessings of the firstborn, he got it in the nation. That's how he got a double inheritance with his sons being taken as tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. So now he's getting the abundant blessings of the riches of the field and whatever grows upon his mountain. Let him have beautiful land with greenery and lack nothing.
Gain.
He got a blessing. He got a blessing of the firstborn because and furthermore, when he went into Egypt, he set his people up in the nicest place. You talk about nepotism. Hey, tell them that you farmers and that you like dealing with them cattle.
That's right.
And you go to this part of the land and you stay there.
That's right.
He gave him the best part. The best part for what they like to do. And out of the sight of Pharaoh, far away to the north, where he don't got to call you for nothing. I'll deal with Pharaoh.
That's
because if he see y'all around, all he's going to do is say, there's 12 yotes, 11 yotes around. And y'all come on in. Let me use you for something. He didn't want his family to be part of that stuff. He said, so go up there, tell them what you are, tell them that you like messing with them animals and, feeding them and taking them out to grace because they can't eat with you. Yeah, they ain't going to mess with you. So that's what he did. Let's go.
Okay, 17th verse. His firstling bullock, majesty is his, and his horns are the horns of the wild ox. With him he shall gore the peoples, all of them, even the ends of the earth.
Even the ends of the earth.
And they are the 10,000s of Ephraim, and they are the thousands
That's the
of
blessing
Manasseh.
right there, his double portion. His 2 tribes was recognized. 2 of his children were recognized as tribe within the nation of Israel.
Okay.
Let us go.
And of Zebulun he said at the 18th verse, rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents.
Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. So Zebulun and Issachar, when you see how they set up in the land, they dwell with each other. They dwell right next to each other. So this is further to the west, into the what do you call it? Into the Mediterranean area, the Mediterranean Sea. I don't know why you're laughing for, Qatar. You making me laugh. Let's go.
They shall call peoples unto the mountain. They shall offer sacrifices of righteousness. For they shall suck the abundance of the seas and the hidden treasures of the sand.
And that tells you that they dwell by the sea. They were probably fishermen.
Right.
And there were people
sailors.
that dwelt, the sailors that dwelt in the sea. It said they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck the abundance of the seas.
Gain.
Right? All the fish and all that stuff.
Everything.
That's their stuff.
They always going to eat.
And the hidden treasures of the sand. Whatever the sand sweeps in. You know, when people who live by oceans and by seas, the sea brings some treasures sometimes.
That's right. Gold, everything.
Yeah. If you live by, listen.
That's why I said the hidden treasures of the sand.
Sometimes you come out and you don't know what happened out in the sea. Something might have sunk. Things might have, today the narcos dropped. These are true stories. Sometimes when those boats is getting chased by the Coast Guard, they drop loads and loads of drugs into the sea. Sometimes people have found money. Sometimes they transfer money, large quantities of money through the sea, and they got to throw everything into the sea.
True.
And that stuff wash up into shores.
Eventually, gain.
And people have found fortunes like millions of dollars that just washed in.
It's true.
Some people have found some other things that are not so good. I wouldn't call that the treasures of the sea.
Not at all.
But I would call the money the treasures of the sea.
Absolutely.
Let us go.
And of Gad he said at the 20th verse, blessed be he that enlargeth Gad. He dwelleth as a lioness and teareth the arm, yea, the crown of the head. And he chose a first part for himself, and there a portion of a ruler was reserved. And there came the heads of the people. He executeth the righteousness of Jehovah and his ordinances with Yisrael.
Yeah, God will stand strong and he will be righteous. And those who come against the laws of God, he's going to stand up like a lioness. Now, you ever see a lioness that's protecting her cubs? That's not or a mama bear that's protecting her cubs. That's a problem. That's a problem. You rather the male lion come at you, or you rather the male grizzly come at you, than that mother gonna tear you apart to make sure that you don't come back. Let us go.
And of Dan he said at the 22nd verse, Dan is a lion's whelp that leapeth forth from Bashan. And of Naphtali he said,
Dan it's a lion's whelp. It's a young lion that leapeth from Bashan. Mm-hmm. Now a young lion, he might not be as how you say as experienced as an older lion, but what he does have is strength,
energy,
and strength, and that's how you get things accomplished.
Big time.
You think about the things you were able to do when you were 20 years old, and the things you're able to do now. They stay for another day. I'm going to do that another day. Mm-hmm. Or what took you a half a day to do now takes you 2 days to do. Because the body just doesn't react the same way. And if you get a good day of work, the next day you're good for nothing. Mm-hmm. Serious, your body be all sore.
The body
but when
changes.
you was young, you broke down stuff, picked stuff up.
The body
you
changes.
Gotta be like, and that's why it's cycles. Right? When you have children, they take on certain parents is not supposed to be breaking down shelves and picking up stuff and doing all that. After a while, your body, you work and you get wore down. Mm-hmm. And you got 3, 4, 5 children that do nothing. That's like a sin. You gotta be able to do something. Listen. If one mind can't figure, all of us together could make one good brain. You figure something out in here. You might need this done. We'll figure it out. You got YouTube University now.
That's right.
Learn anything on YouTube.
Exactly.
Let us go.
And of Naphtali he said at the 23rd verse, O Naphtali, satisfied with favor and full with the blessing of Yahweh, possess thou the sea and the south.
Possess the sea and the south. Naphtali getting his blessing. Let's go.
And of Asher he said, blessed be Asher above sons. Let him be the favorite of his brethren, and let him dip his foot in oil.
Let him dip his foot in oil. Asher, he gonna be smooth, and things are, and the blessings. Oil is anointment. Is it's anointing or it's an elevation. Mm-hmm. When the priest, when that oil was put on his head, he was elevated.
Okay.
It was an elevation to another level. So now you get that oil put on your foot, man. You good. I mean, you ever seen ashy feet? You ever see toe up feet? I got ashy feet sometimes. Sometimes I need to dip my feet in some more. Sometimes right. People be complaining. Listen, I've had complaints about me. Online, they said, somebody get that brother some lotion up here because his knuckles and his arms and stuff be ashy. That's because I wash my hands constantly. So then you get used to washing your hands, but my hands ain't ashy today, people. But that oil, nothing like that oil, man. You put that stuff on your skin, man, your skin comes back. Mm-hmm. People that take care of themselves and put them oils on and stuff, that's like a replenishing of your skin.
Hydrates.
So they're gonna always be like revived. They're always gonna be, have that glow to them. Mm-hmm. Nothing like that oil, man. I just don't like that oily stuff, man. That oily stuff drives me crazy, man. Used to hate when my mother used to put Vaseline on my face. But you needed it. You needed that Vaseline to protect you against the elements. Or you went out there in the cold. But I hated it. Let's go.
Iron and brass, at the 25th verse, shall thy bars, and as thy days, so shall thy strength be.
Your days should be like iron and brass that are not easily broken. Long life. Let's go.
There is none like unto Jehovah, O Jerusalem, Salakli, O Yeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven as thy help, and in his excellency on the skies. The eternal power is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he thrust out the enemy from before thee, and said, destroy.
You know what's amazing about Moses? Now, the Creator denied him going into the land, and he still blesses the Creator. Our parents tell us not to do something, we be pouting, you be in the corner, and you know it's just for a minute. You know they told you, don't touch that, you can't do it today. Moses, it was an absolute thing. That's it. You're not going in, you're going to die. Go up on the mountain, look at the land, that's it. And even with all of that, Moses still had it in his heart to say, there is none like unto God, O Yeshurun, who rideth upon the heaven as thy help.
That's right.
And in his excellency on the skies, the eternal God is a dwelling place, and underneath are the everlasting arms, and he thrust out the enemy from before thee and said, destroy the enemy. How blessed is Moses? That's why it says there's not risen a prophet like unto Moses. Said, I don't speak to him in dreams or in dark sayings or in visions. Besides, I speak to him what? Face to face. That's why Moses can't be compared to anyone else, because his will, his love for God was unmatched.
Incredible human.
God was first in everything. Moses neglected everything, neglected family, everything, just to give himself to the Creator.
Remarkable human.
Let us go.
And Yisrael dwelleth in safety, at the 28th verse, the fountain of Yaakov alone, in a land of corn and wine, yea, his heavens drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Yisrael, who is like unto thee.
Who is like unto thee? Let's go.
A people saved by Jehovah, the shield of thy help, and that is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemy shall dwindle away before thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
You hear that? Happy art thou, O Yisrael, who is like unto thee, a people saved by Jehovah, the shield of thy help, and that is the sword of thy excellency. Jehovah is our protector. Ultimately, he is the one who protects us. He is the one who guides us. He's the one who keeps us. We don't do anything of our own will. It's the Creator who protects us. And we must keep that in mind. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
With that, I'm going to call up my brother, Chief Meku Ben Cohen Levi, to proceed with chapter 34.
Amen.
Hallelujah. 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 You may be seated, brothers and sisters. Giving all honor and praise, respect, glory, and allegiance to our God and our King, the Holy One, the only one of Yisrael. We all must say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Shabbat Shalom Lakol.
Shabbat Shalom Lakah.
Kag Tov Lakol.
Kag Tov Lakah.
It's still a feast, brothers and sisters.
Yes, it is.
This feast lasts 7 days. It's day what? 6.
Day 6.
Yom Shisha, right?
Yom Shisha.
The Kag Sukkot. We got to enjoy these days, brothers and sisters. This is a blessing to be here and to be able to say we're feasting and eating what we want. And we had a great feast the other day. Oh, man, that food was delicious. It was. Todah Yah to all the people who put forth their hands into making it. I did get some of my requests. I didn't get all my requests. I didn't get that roti, but I'm looking for it soon. Okay. But I had the slop. Ooze came through with the spaghetti. It's spaghetti, but we call it the slop. Got to have that oil around it, you know what I mean? Okay. Clog up your arteries a little bit sometimes. Sometimes you got to do it. But Todah Yah for good health.
Amen.
Todah Yah for strength.
Amen.
Todah Yah for peace.
Amen.
Todah Yah for his mercy. Todah Yah for wisdom, knowledge, understanding. I thank God for my parents, brothers and sisters, my father who left on record so many of his words and notes for me. I have a book of his notes. I got a cheat sheet, brothers and sisters. I got the ultimate cheat sheet. My father's notes. It don't get easier than that, brothers and sisters. You go to the portion, you be like, okay, go cheat. You know, my Ima, and she was a teacher, she said it's not cheating unless you get caught, so. And she was a teacher for the Board of Ed. So y'all can take it up with Ima. That's what she said. Thank God for her life. She's here, being strong. Todah Yah. Thanking the Most High God for Emi. Thanking the Most High God for Ima Emuna who's here. Thanking the Most High God for all you who are here. Your families that are home watching. I thank God for all of our lives, brothers and sisters. It's a blessing to be alive and well in these days and time.
It is.
You know, yesterday around, I guess 3:30, 4 o'clock, when my son is coming home from school, a young boy got killed He was on the train right behind that train. And the young boy got killed, 15 years old. So you got to thank God for protection and thank God that he's watching over us even when we don't even know what's going on ahead of us. So, he got off the stop before and walked. So I said, well, that's God showing you something. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know what was going on. But God is protecting us and watching us and guiding us, whether we know it or not. Sometimes you get mad and upset. Oh, there's a detour. Maybe God is protecting you from something. Okay. Go the other way. Okay. You're late for work. Oh, man, I'm be late. I told you I was supposed to go uptown the day of 9/11. And the Most High God said, go back home. I said, all right, I'll go back home. I didn't know what happened until I got off the train. But God protects us even in spite of our own selves. We don't even be knowing what's going on. You can't even see around the corner.
That's right.
Sometimes I remember one time when we were young, me and my brother Ron, we was going outside to play. Regular Yom Rishon Sunday morning, going out to play basketball. And we we don't pay attention. You young, you just go outside. We going outside, and mind you, it's people standing up outside, but it's like they're alerted. There's something going on. Everybody's like standing still, keeping still, but they're watching. So me and Ron going outside, we just walking. My Abba go, hey, get over here. Because he was going to the spot, you know what I'm saying? So he come bring us over here. He's like, y'all don't see that guy standing over there with the gun? The dude standing there with a shotgun and a whole bunch of bullets around himself, ready to just shoot somebody. And he's standing there. And my Abba's like, y'all don't see that? Look at everybody standing still. Y'all walking right into it. So he goes, go upstairs. So I'm like, well, where you going? I'm going to handle my business. I'm like, Abba's crazy. So now my Abba's walking. The dude is standing right there. And the dude yell out, pop, because that's what they call my Abba. Pop, what you doing? You don't see me here with this gun? My Abba said, you ain't shooting nobody. He kept walking. My Abba just kept walking. And sure as day, the guy got frustrated and was like, I ain't going to shoot nobody, and walked inside. Wow. But God just makes people protect you. I mean, God watches over you. You don't even realize it. My Abba I didn't see it. Ron didn't see it, but my Abba seen it. He said, hey, go upstairs. So now I'm thinking my Abba going to get something going to happen to him. Nope, God watched over him. My Abba said, you ain't going to do nothing. And kept walking. I don't advise that. My stories are true, but they are not. They are for guidance. Right. Don't do it. Don't try this at home. Okay. Do not do that. You see somebody with a gun, go the other way. Exactly. Go inside. Okay. But he said, no, I'm going. I'm going to what I was going to do. The dude knew, and the Abba must have knew that the guy wasn't going to do nothing. He was like frustrated, man. Why he ain't going to listen to me? I guess nobody going to listen to me. Called your bluff. Go inside and put that gun away. But God watches over us, brothers and sisters. These trains, we don't have no control over the trains. None of that. The car, we don't have control over the guy that's texting and driving. We don't have control over anything. So it behooves us to pray to the one who's in control over everything. Hallelujah. And that is the Creator. Let's finish off. Uz took all the good tribes and all the blessing. So I'm just going to finish it off.
Okay. There's still some good stuff.
There's still some good stuff in here. You know what, brothers and sisters? It was like this morning when we found out we was going to do the portion. Uz did one of these things. He says, we going to split it? I said, all right, we'll split it. You want to do the first chapter and I'll do the second chapter? I said, whatever you want to do. I said, you want to do the first chapter? You want to do the second chapter? He said, whatever you want to do. I said, well, you do the first chapter. I thought he was going to bounce it back to me. Bounce it back, Uz. Let me get that first chapter. It was like that thing like, oh, who got the bill? I'll pay for it. No, you pay for it. No, you pay for it. Oh, no, I got it. And then you like waiting for him to give it back. Like, oh, so I guess I'm paying for it. Don't get caught by your bluff. Don't try and bluff out there. So Uz called my bluff this morning. I was like, nah, you get the first chapter. I'll do the second one. He threw it back at me. I said, nah, you take the first chapter. I'll take the second one. But he didn't bounce it back. Bounce that back. Let me get that first chapter. But there's some good stuff in this 34th chapter. It's short. I'm going to be quick. Let's get into it. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And Prophet Moshe went up from the plains of Moab unto Mount Nebo to the top of Pisgah, that is over against Jericho. And Jehovah showed him all the land, even Gilead, as far as Dan.
So now the Most High God told Moshe to go on the top of the mountain. Pisgah, that's the top. So now he said, the Most High showed them all the land. If I open up this window, brothers and sisters, y'all probably couldn't even see across Hamilton Avenue. None of us.
Very true.
But this is how great God is. He let Moshe see with his 2 eyes. There was no mishkafayim.
That's true.
That's as far as we know. There was no glasses. But he let him see all of the land as far as Dan. That is far, brothers and sisters.
Okay.
So Moshe knew, and don't get it twisted, this is an emotional time for Moshe. Because he's still not going to the land. He's still blessed all the tribes of Yisrael. And he's still not being able to go over. But yet he could see the beauty of that land. Just imagine, just looking far out and seeing the cattle, the fruits, the vegetables, the waters, the seas, all these things, waterfalls, all the great things that your eyes could envision. The Most High God is showing Moshe all of this, but he can't go. Let's read.
And all, at the second verse, Naphtali, and the land of Ephraim, and Manasseh, and all the land of Yehudah, as far as the Hinder Sea, and the south, and the plain, even the valley of Jericho, the city of palm trees, as far as Zor.
You see that? The city of palm trees. Now, you think of palm trees, you know how L.A. is. Los Angeles got a whole row of palm trees. It's beautiful. You got all these palm trees, so imagine all these beautiful palm trees, all these different things, fruit trees. Listen, when it says, when this season that we're in, boughs of thick trees and willows of the brook, the willow tree, that beautiful tree that hang the leaves over, all these different trees, and look at all of this stuff, brothers and sisters. This is just a smidget of the greatness of how great God is. Just a smidget, just if you can imagine, you know, all these beautiful sights. I try to think of movies that could even try to depict it, and there's nothing out there that could really depict how great we are and how great God is and how great the blessings that God give us. Try to think of something.
There is.
Can't. Because God is so great, brothers and sisters.
That's right.
Just thinking about how beautiful our people are in itself. When we get dressed up, you remember that time when there was when the Black Panther movie came out? And all of our people were dressing up in culture and wearing their head wraps and all these different things, and we just look like we fell out the book. Just think about that. Our people are so beautiful. Beautiful. That's why they hate us, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you.
That's right.
There's reasons why they try to inject themselves with things in their lips to try and get these right here. These big lips, you know, we could talk about it. Yo, you big lip dude. We talk to each other like that, but meanwhile, they're sitting there taking notes like, big lip, big nose, check. They want this nose. This big nose that all my friends like, yo, why your nose so big, bro? This is my Abba nose. This is the nose. I love my big nose, my big lips. This is our features. God gave it to us. That's how you know when you look at the paintings and the pictures and the things of ancient times and the things have big noses and big lips. Who else could that be? And the women have shape. They don't look like squares. Bunch of SpongeBob SquarePants walking around. Talking about, oh yeah, this is how we look. No. Our sisters look good. Brothers are strong. Looking good. These are our features, and they're trying to take your features now. They inject their face, their booty, they inject their nose, they injecting every single thing just to look like you.
That's right.
You think it's for them just they want to have big nose and big lips? Where you think they getting that from? They getting it from us. We look like that, but they trying it. And meanwhile, we trying to get ours flatter. Our nose, and push it down and smidge it and keep that big nose. Don't do that. Keep that big nose. You smell better. Ain't that what Red Riding Hood told him? The better the smell you with. Keep that big nose. Keep those big lips. You're supposed to look like that. Those big eyes. Yes, Shalom, I can see you. God is good to us, brothers and sisters. Accept the blessings that God gave you. Because somebody else desires those blessings.
That's right.
Let's read.
And Jehovah said unto him at the 4th verse, This is the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Yitzchak, and unto Yaakov, saying, I will give it unto thy seed. I have caused thee to see it with thine eyes. However, thou shalt not go over thither. So prophet Moshe, the servant of Yahweh, died there in the land of Moab, according to the word of Yahweh. And he was buried in the valley in the land of Moab over against Beit Peor, and no man knoweth of his sepulchre unto this day.
Nobody knows of his sepulchre until this day, because if they did, people would worship it. So God knows what he's doing. Somebody's going to say, oh, I know when Moses was buried, and they're going to start going there, praying to it, and doing all types of stuff. No, we don't go praying to the day. No. Listen, the cemetery's unclean. You go to the cemetery, you're unclean for 7 days. If you come in contact with a dead body, you're unclean 7 days. And we don't have the waters of purification that you're supposed to use on the 3rd and the 7th day.
Exactly.
So we got to be careful with our practices and what we do. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to go see Aunt Betty today. Where's Aunt Betty? Aunt Betty passed away 30 years ago. Sorry, no. You laughing, but I'm telling you, there's some Israelites that's out there talking about they going to see Aunt such and such and Uncle such and such for their birthday, and they are not here anymore. So you got to be careful. Watch what you do. And then it says, this is the land which I swore unto Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov. That land that's over there that they're fighting over, that's our land, brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
There will never be peace in that land until we get there.
That's right.
People don't understand that. They think that it's about, oh, they just over there fighting in this territory. Sir, it's not your land.
Exactly.
It's not any of y'all land.
That's right.
Neither the ones that's over there. But I will say this, it's more the ones of the Palestinians than those other people. That's for sure. At least they look a little bit dark. You can't leave a place looking European. I mean, leaving black and come back European.
Right.
That don't make no sense. That's impossible. That's our land. We belong over there. We got to go over there and clean up. They got churches in there. They got mosques in there. They got all types of stuff in there. We got a whole lot of work to go. You think we're going to go back home and just sit down and chill? We're going to have to clean up. We got to knock down those pillars, knock down those asherim, knock down those churches, knock it all down.
That's right.
And guess what? This is not anti-Semitic talk.
It's the truth talk.
I can't talk anti-Semitic because I am Shemitic. How you going to talk anti-me? I'm not going to talk against myself. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. Sir, I am Shemitic.
That's right.
This is about me. This is about my people. I'm tired of my people getting up there and saying, oh, the Israelites, the real Israelites are black. The real, quote-unquote, Jew man is a black man. And saying all that stuff. And then somebody say, oh, he's anti-Shemitic. No, he's telling the truth.
That's right.
I know Kanye's a little off right now. But what he just said was, all he said was that the original Jew is black. The original nation or nation of Yisrael, the original tribe of Yehuda, is black. He didn't say nothing crazy.
Not at all.
They say you anti-Semitic. How could I be anti myself?
Come on.
I love myself. I love y'all. This is about us. Shem is about us. And they changed it. They took the sheen, they made it a scene and say Sem, anti-Semitic, when it's anti-Shemitic. Because we're from Shem. Y'all from Yafet. But they don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I'm from Shem. And we know who Ham is.
That's right.
And we know who Yafet is. And y'all Yafet. Y'all want to be something, be Yafet. Take your claim. Enjoy that. Ain't no blessings with Yafet.
Not at all.
This right here is about Shem. We from Shem. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is us. This is about our culture, our nationality. People ask you, oh, what's your religion? I don't have no religion. What do you mean? Religion is a made-up word. It just means to refrain, to hold back. That's all that is. I don't have a religion. I have a nationality and I have a culture. I'm an Israelite.
That's right.
That's my way of life. How do you know? From blood and seed.
That's right.
This is us, brothers and sisters. I love this. I thank God for my parents that instilled this zeal in me.
Absolutely.
Can't tell me nothing. Oh, today's your holy day. Yeah. Yes. You won't see me for a few days. I'm taking off. Oh, No problem, Israel. Yeah, no problem is right. Gotta feel good about this. Talk your talk. Talk your talk. I'm not coming to work. Well, you know you don't have any more vacation days.
That's all right. Take what I pay.
Put me in the negative. I'll catch up next year. God is going to get his praise. God is going to get his praise regardless. So I got to make sure that I'm in it, because God's going to get his praise from the animals. He's going to get his praise from the waters. He's going to get his praise from the trees. He's going to get his praise from the clouds. The sun and the moon never rejected God. He said, as long as there's a sun, the moon, and the stars, that the nation of Israel will be here. That's a sure bet. That's a sure bet. Don't come at me with no Y2K. You saw what happened with that. Everybody was talking about, oh, in the year 2000, this was going to happen. God said that as long as there's a sun, moon, and stars, the Israelites are going to be here. God didn't say that he was going to destroy the earth. God did a flood, and that's what he did back then, and he said he would never destroy it in that manner again. But he said as long as there's a sun, moon, and the stars, the Israelites going to be here. We don't die. We multiply. This is us. We here, brothers and sisters. Let's read on.
Hallelujah. And Prophet Moshe was 120 years old at the 7th verse when he died. His eyes were not dim, nor his natural force abated.
So that means Moshe was not limping. Moshe wasn't like this. Moshe could see. He said his eyes were not dim. He could see as far, so he didn't use no glasses. He could see across. He could see as far as Dan. He could see the whole land. He said his natural force wasn't abated. He was strong.
That's right.
He was strong. Remember, Moshe went up and down a mountain a couple of times. He didn't eat and drink 40 days and 40 nights a couple of times. If I don't eat past that Yom Kippur day, I'm telling y'all it's going to be a problem. 40 days? 40 nights? You're talking about a man of God. But that means that God was filling him with his word.
Exactly.
God, Moshe was on a different level, brothers and sisters.
Without question.
And that's, guess what? That's Moshe without a title. Without prince, without king, without prophet, without this, without that. All we know of him is Moshe. But yet and still, God said that he spoke to him face to face. In another portion, it says pay el pay, mouth to mouth. God spoke to Moshe, mouth to mouth, face to face. He didn't do that. So we come from greatness, brothers and sisters. Moshe was a great, great man. People ask you, who's your favorite person in the book? How could it not be Moshe? Moshe was amazing. But God is showing us something, brothers and sisters. If we do what he tells us to do according to his word, we could live just like this. Our eyes not dim. Our natural force not abated. We could be this like this strong. Who's talking about when you out there, you getting older and older, you can't lift this. And listen, the other day I played ball with my sons. I was good playing, no problem. The next day I was like this. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, y'all tired? I be wanting them to say yeah. Y'all tired? Because I was tired. What? I still had to bust my son's butt, though. You know what I'm saying? I still got it. But the next day, boy, oh boy, it ain't the same like when I was young. I used to be on about 3 basketball teams, a baseball team. In the summertime, my day was jam-packed from 9 in the morning. I had baseball game, basketball games. I used to play all day. Next day, do the same thing. I couldn't do that today. I would be like, sub, somebody come play for me. I ain't doing this today. Oh, you know, when you start, it's starting in the game. That's like a privilege. That's a great thing. Oh, you a starter. I start one day, the next day, I'll be like, y'all come off the bench. Y'all start the game without me. Nah, you're not the same. You're not the same. When I was in college, I could put up probably 350 pounds easy on the bench. Easy. Now I'm trying to put up about 250, and I'm like, God, give me strength. Give me the strength that I need. Mm-hmm. Thank God my hands is still moving on the drums, but It's going to come a time I'm going to slow down. I'm going to slow down. Even now, my shoulder hurts, this hurts, that hurts. I'll be like, man, this is a young man's sport. She said, Ima Emuna said, join the club. Come on, Ima Emuna. Come on now, I can still do something out here. But you get slower.
The body
you get
changes.
slower.
Okay.
So thank God while you young. That's why my Abba used to have this saying when they used to say youth is wasted on the young. I understand it now. Mm-hmm. I didn't get it back then, but now I understand it. Don't waste your youth. Do things while you could do it. Be strong and of good courage and move and groove and get things done. That way when you get a little bit older, you could slow down a little bit. You don't have to do the same things. That hustle and bustle. Try and secure your bag, as they say now, while you're young. Secure that bag. Go to school. Get the education. Get the job. Secure it. That way when you get older, you can look at it and make the money work for you. I'm just telling y'all about wisdom. And set your children up. Set them up with the insurance. God forbid anything happens to you. They got the insurance. You got this ready, and nobody likes to talk about death. I don't. I know. But guess what? You got to take care of it because anything can happen, brothers and sisters. And you don't want your family scrambling, running around talking about, oh, we got to put them away and we don't have no funds and we got to do a GoFundMe and we got to do a this fund me and we don't. Take care of your business. Take care of all your things so that you can make sure your children are good, your family's good, your spouse is good. Make sure everybody's good. Put that college money away. Put all of those things away so that your children can have something to fall back on. Let them experience life a little bit, but then when they're ready, you got to say, all right, your rap career is not going to make it. You didn't become a rapper. So now you got to go and do this, that, and the third. And it happens. It happens. When I was young, I knew I was going to the NBA. But what about Shabbat, knucklehead? Oh yeah. Guess I better go to school for business. Do what I had to do. Got my master's degree. I'm not using it, but if I need to, I have it. I got something to fall back on. Get a trade. Learn. These are the things that you got to do when you're young. Take advantage of your youth. When you strong and you can hang out late and wake up like no problem, why you think half the camp empty now? Brothers hang out. The next day they're like, yo, I'm tired. Shabbat, you know Shabbat is day of rest. Brother, you supposed to give it out here. Stop playing. Get on out here. But you tired. Your body's not the same. So thank God for your youth. And when you get older, God will give you something. He'll give you that strength still. My Ima drive around from exit 71 off the LIE all the way to Brooklyn with no problem. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. I don't got to help her down the stairs. I don't got to help her up the stairs. None of that. Torah YAH for that strength. Amen. I'm grateful, brothers and sisters. That means I come from good genes. I'll be strong when I'm up there. Torah YAH. My Abba was playing 5-2 with us when he was in his 70s. Shooting basketball with us, 70s. Playing ball with us. So that's a blessing, brothers and sisters. What I'm telling you is, when you do these laws, commandments, and statutes, God takes care of you.
Without question.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, God takes care of you. But you got to give something to God. Give him that praise. Give him that obedience. Do what God told you to do, and God going to take care of you. Let's finish out.
Hallelujah. And the children of Yisrael at the 8th verse wept for prophet Moshe in the plains of Moab 30 days. So the days of weeping in the morning for prophet Moshe were ended.
Right, so they mourned for Moshe 30 days. 30 days they mourned. But when they was at the waters of Meribah, they didn't mourn. Mm-hmm. When they gave Moses a hard time, they didn't mourn. When they was talking bad about Moshe, they didn't mourn. When they said, let's kill him, they didn't mourn. Mm-hmm. But as soon as he left, they mourned. Mm-hmm. Point being, cherish what you have when you have it.
That's right.
Give people their flowers while they're alive.
That's real.
I love you, Ima. I love you.
Okay.
I love my mother. Give people their flowers while they're alive.
That's right.
Talk to them nice. Give them that encouragement.
Okay.
Because when they gone, you're going to miss them. And you're going to say, oh, I wish. But you had a chance.
Very true.
So give them their flowers and give them their respect and talk nice to them and be nice and be encouraging and give them all those things. Don't wait till they're gone, then you're going to mourn and cry and I wish I had the chances. Don't do that. I'm telling you now. They mourned for Moses for 30 days. But I'm telling you, they was talking bad about Moshe at the waters of Meribah. Dissing them. They even wanted to kill him. Oh, why'd you bring us up out of Egypt? We were good here. Cherish the people that you love while they're here, brothers and sisters. Cherish them and talk nice to them and be nice.
Hallelujah.
Be a nice person.
Okay.
Be manly. Be respectful. Let's love each other, brothers and sisters. Let's read on.
Hallelujah. And Yehoshua, the son of Nun, at the 9th verse, was full of the spirit of wisdom. For prophet Moshe had laid his hands upon him.
That's right.
And the children of Yisrael hearkened unto him, as did Yehovah commanded prophet Moshe. And there had not arisen a prophet since in Yisrael like unto prophet Moshe, whom Yehovah knew face to face, and all the signs and the wonders which Yehovah sent him to do in the land of Mitzrayim, to Paro and to all his servants, and to all his land, and in all the mighty hand, and in all the great terror which prophet Moshe wrought in the sight of all Yisrael. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What a beautiful ending. And we get to start all over again with Bereshit. Brothers and sisters, this is indeed a great day, a great time to be alive. It's a great time to know who you are. It's a great time to know that you are an Israelite and that God is God and there is none like unto him.
No one.
There is no king beside Yehovah our king,
No
and there's
one.
no rock like our rock.
No
There's no redeemer besides our king. And we give thanks and praise to our all, the rock, redeemer, and provider of Yisrael, Yehovah Ziva'ot. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen.
Thank you, the Most High God, for the life.